So we're live. We're live on YouTube. Alright, nice. Anyone else? Okay, we got 8 people. Give me a thumbs up if you could hear me clearly. Nice. Okay, good. Good. So, alright, we're all good. Okay. Okay, now we're recording. So, how's everyone's day so far? I hope you guys are having a great day. And if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Garcia. I actually work with Proctor in his company, Proctor Gallagher Institute, and what we work on is creating multiple sources of income. So, what type of income streams do you have coming in? If you have one income, then it's okay. You can work on another source of income, another way to make money. People are creators. People can literally create their own economy. You can create an idea that could literally change the world. And you have to start thinking fantasy. This is what I've learned with Bob Proctor. You have to start thinking fantasy and create a theory of how this thing is going to happen. You don't have to worry about how. The crazy part about it is people are trying to figure out how they can attract things that they want, and they get caught up in there's no way it's going to happen because they're using the logical side of their thinking. They're letting what they see control their thoughts. Yesterday, for example, I was talking to this guy, right? And I was telling him, I'm like, look, my life totally changed. My life is nothing like how it used to be. My life is totally different. And I'm so happy that I started studying this material. Now, what material am I talking about? I'm talking about material that could literally change your life, your thoughts. And, you know, every day is another day. But every day brings challenges that are requiring you to think positive. You know, if the most you've ever made is, let's say, 30,000, 40,000, that's the most you've ever made. It's okay. It's okay because we're dealing with formless substance. Now, just to give you an idea of what formless substance is, and I'll just quote this word per word from this book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace. That's what I was telling one of our students yesterday. It says here, there is only one way to think scientifically, and that is to think in a way that leads by the most direct and simple route to the goal. No person has yet formulated a briefer or less complex system than the one I am describing here. It has been stripped of all non-essentials. When you begin this method, lay all others aside. Put them out of your mind altogether. Read this book every day. Keep it with you and commit it to memory. Now, this is what Wallace is telling you to do in this book, The Science of Getting Rich. And he says that there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made. Like, I already know what he says on here. but I'll just read it to you guys. And he says, keep your mind at home. Use your mind to form a mental image of what you want and hold that image, that vision, with faith and purpose. Use your will to keep your mind working the right way. The more steady and continuous your faith and purpose is, the more rapidly you will get rich, because you will make only positive impressions upon the formless substance. So there he goes, talking about the formless substance. You will not neutralize or offset them by negative impressions. The formless substance receives a picture of your desire and allows this picture to penetrate to great distance, perhaps throughout the entire universe. At this impression, impressions, as this impression spreads, all things are set moving towards its realization. Um, and at the end of every chapter, he's talking about there's a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and a thought in the thinking stuff produces a thing that is imagined by the thought. So, you know, you can form things. It says here, there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. Okay, it's all right here for my people on our YouTube channel. It's right there. You can form things in your thought, and by impressing the thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing you think about to be created. Let me repeat that again. How many people are on here? Let's see. We got 10 people on here. Okay, once again, you can form things in your thought, and by impressing the thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing you think about to be created. There you go. So you can form things in your thought, and when you impress that thought upon the formless substance, the thing that you were thinking about will be created. So I've read this book when I lived in Hollywood, California, and I've studied for 10 years Think and Grow Rich, this book right here. Okay. I've worked with Bob Proctor. I'm a consultant with his company, and I was always broke. Okay, I didn't understand this material. When I started to understand it, this is what I was telling this guy yesterday. I was broke, and I was living at my mom's house, and I went through a really difficult situation. And I told this guy, I was like, because this guy's like 22, I told him, I'm like, look, if you really want it, you're going to do whatever it takes. You know, it's like exercising. If you really want to lose weight, you're going to go to the gym. You're going to do what it takes, right? What will you do to get to your goal? What bad habits do you have to let go of, right? And I told him, when I started listening to Napoleon Hill and his laws of success, I didn't realize it was that easy. See, a lot of people, when they get this information, they think it's either too easy or too difficult. And for me, it was easy. Now, it became difficult because I had to have persistence. I had to have faith. I had to start a company. And that's what I did. I started a company. But I never would have done that if it wasn't for Napoleon Hill. Because even though Napoleon Hill was dead, he was literally talking to me, telling me. And he says that we were born with two envelopes. One side is everything we did want, and the other side is everything we didn't want. Why did we get what we didn't want? He says that the reason we got what we didn't want is because we failed to take possession of our own mind. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to have to study the mind. I have to study the mind, right? And I was like, okay, well, what does the mind look like? This is all the stuff that I learned from Bob Proctor, because I was studying the laws of success, and then I was studying Think and Grow Rich for like 3 or 4 years. And then 2016, Bob Proctor's office called me and I joined this company. And then I actually got to have a conversation with Bob Proctor, right? And Bob Proctor was like me. He got this when he was like my age, back in the 60s or the 50s. He's been in personal growth and development now going on 60 years. When he was in his 55th year was when I actually met him for the first time in New York in Carnegie Hall. And he studied Napoleon Hill. He still studies Napoleon Hill to this day. And what he does is sometimes him and the CEO, Sandy Gallagher, they study the same chapter for 90 days. So they might study the chapter on decision making for 90 days. They might study the chapter of the mastermind for 90 days. But they study it, they read the chapter every day for 90 days. So it's true. It's like, it's either too easy or too difficult. Now, if you just bumped into me on this call because you just joined our business, and you're building your own company, you're building your own, you know, I guess, network, right? You probably don't understand anything I'm talking about. You probably have no idea the rabbit hole that you're about to embark upon. The, I guess, the red pill. When you realize that, not that it's wrong, but that people have been programmed at birth to do certain things. Now, what are those certain things? Well, people get married. Well, people have kids. And then guess what? You have kids. You get married. You have a family. And guess what? You buy a house. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. Now, I'll come back to that right now, right? But this could be the most important conversation that you have, or lecture that you have with someone about the way that people think, because I wanted to know what the mind looks like. And I asked Bob Proctor, and Bob Proctor always talks about it. He said, look, Ross, the mind is not the brain. The brain is something physical. The mind is an activity, and it's moving at a high speed of vibration. We're in a constant ocean of motion. We're in always moving. The only thing that keeps us is gravity, keeps our feet on the ground. So he's like, you think in pictures, okay? And it's the pictures that you're entertaining all day long that are producing the results in your life. So you've been programmed at birth, genetically and environmentally. That's what James Allen says in the book, As a Man Thinketh. He says, mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind. So you are a mind. The mind is not the brain. The brain is something physical. You have a mind. And it's your mind, the pictures. William James was a professor from Harvard in the 1900s. He says that you have about 60,000 thoughts per day. And out of those 60,000 thoughts, 55,000, maybe 59,000 thoughts have nothing to do with your major definite purpose. What is like the first chapter in Think and Grow Rich? It has an introduction, but the beginning is decision. Is desire, my bad, is desire. So what is it that you really, really want? Like I was asking this guy yesterday, what do you really, really want? And he's like, I really want a Mustang, a brand new Mustang. I said, okay, how much is it? 40,000, 50,000. Okay, great. Now, what if I told you that you could have the Mustang within a year? Would you believe me? Now, if the most you've ever made is 20,000 or 30,000 and you still have a bunch of debt, you're going to say, no, there is no way that I could buy that car. And that's what the beautiful part about what we teach. And I want you to understand this, because this could literally change the way you think and your whole economy. Now, you don't have to worry about how you're going to buy this car or how you're going to buy this house. Forget about how, because there is a secret in the teachings that we teach. Okay, just like that movie, The Secret, The Law of Attraction, right? But there is literally a secret that was told to Napoleon Hill by Andrew Carnegie. Now, Andrew Carnegie was the richest person in the 1900s, and he told Napoleon Hill, he said, there is a secret, there's a hidden law of nature that not even the wisest of men can understand. Now, what is that hidden law of nature? The hidden law of nature is like a scientist trying to explain to you how photosynthesis works. Now, I don't know what photosynthesis, how it works. Now, I just know that when the sun hits the ground and there's a seed on the ground, that eventually that seed will give birth and it'll become fruit, a vegetable, whatever that seed is, whatever you plant according to what kind of seed you have. Now, there is a law, it's called the law of gender. Now, the law of gender states that there's an incubation period and ingestation period to every seed. Now, we know what it is for a woman having a child, it's 9 months, but we don't know what a spiritual seed is. That's the beautiful part about what we teach. A spiritual seed might be that car. A spiritual seed might be that certain lifestyle, that certain amount of money. But guess what? You could create a quantum leap and go into that frequency, into that dimension. Because nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. And that's what I learned from Bob Proctor. He says, nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. Everything you want is already here, Ross. I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, anything that you think about is a place. Anything that you entertain is a place. And I remember entertaining pictures of me living in Europe, not having no idea where I would be. I first landed in the UK, now I'm in Spain. How does it happen? It happens because when you're emotionally involved, it goes into the subconscious mind. So if you're emotionally involved, in my case, with living in Europe, then guess what? There will be a day that you live in Europe. And I'm not from Europe. I'm from Chicago. I was born in the US. So it's true. Andrew Carnegie mentored Napoleon Hill, okay? Mentored Napoleon Hill. And he told him, any idea that's emphasized, that's either repeated, that's either feared or revered. Repeated, feared or revered, taking over to the subconscious mind will begin to formulate itself into physical reality. Any idea feared or revered, meaning it could happen or it'll never happen. Any idea entertained. Why do you think Napoleon Hill covered a chapter on autosuggestion? It's right here. It's right here, guys. Autosuggestion. Okay? It's in the book, Think and Grow Rich, and I'll tell you what chapter it is. Okay? And I want you guys to really get this because we talk about this every day, which is great because that's part of the autosuggestion is like you're constantly telling yourself something that you really, really want. And you have to let go of the logic. Logically, they told you that according to your grades, you were going to move ahead in society. Well, guess what? You tried that. And there would be no way, logically, that you can, let's say, have a degree, like in my case, a degree in finance and investment management, and take my, annual income and make it into my weekly income. Chapter 4, auto suggestion. There you go. Auto suggestion, guys. So, repetition. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I'm so happy and grateful now that I wake up when I want. I report to no one. I have multiple sources of income. I'm working my business. I'm putting people in my business. I have residual income, whatever case, whatever you want. Literally, it's whatever you want. And William James also said, the professor from Harvard, and you may want to Google him, William James. He's pretty much the father of psychology. He was the first professor at Harvard University to teach psychology. And he says, believe in your belief, and your belief will literally create the fact. So, you're a very powerful individual. You have energy. You're intelligent. You're like a Mona Lisa. The issue we have here is that you've been living in a state of confusion because our society taught us to use the left part of our brain to go to school. And according to the A's and B's that you get, that would depend on how further ahead you would move on in life. So you graduated from school, got the degree, possibly, went to go get the job, and you still weren't happy because you knew deep down inside, in your heart of hearts, in your self image, that there was something that you really wanted to do. And that's why you're here. You're not here but because of chance or luck. You're here for a reason, because nothing happens by coincidence. There is no coincidence, it's by law. If I told you that we had 2 seasons in the same year, we wouldn't be here right now because Earth would not form the way it would be formed, because these are laws. There isn't 2 winters in the same year. There isn't 2 summers in the same year. There isn't 2 sunsets in the same day. There isn't 2. There's laws, there's opposites, night and day, man and female, winner and quitter, millionaire and broke, right? So when I understood that it was just as easy as flipping the switch. If you're in a negative mood, think of a positive mood. If you've never been wealthy, then think of wealthy. But you have to use the freaking logical side of your brain. You have to start saying, oh, Ross, but how is it going to happen? Don't have to worry about how it's going to happen. You just have to really want it. You just have to really want this life. Are you going to let somebody write your check? Are you going to work for that company? When are you going to understand that these are principles? These are basic principles. The night doesn't follow the day. If there would be night all day and all night, it wouldn't work. These are laws. It's called the law of polarity, the law of opposites. And Wallace Swaddles talks about it. Like the movie The Secret with Rhonda Byrne, she was inspired through Bob Proctor on this book, The Science of Getting Rich. Everything Rhonda Byrne talked about in the movie The Secret is in this little book right here, Wallace Swaddles, The Science of Getting Rich. And he actually explains it right here. The first law, the perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy just is. So then I go into energy now with Bob Proctor. And he says, yes, energy just is. It's the cause and effect of itself. It's 100% evenly present in all places at all times. It has no past and no future. You've always been here. You're a spirit. I said, wait. Am I an energy? Am I a spirit? You're both. You're a spirit that has energy. Okay? Simple as that. Simple as that. You're a spirit that has energy. And you have an intellect. And you live in a physical body. And because you're a spirit, you're for expansion and fuller expression. Never for disintegration. Never for hard times. Your spirit is looking to become. And that's what Wallace Waddle says in this book right here. He says, you can't become if you're broke. You're for expansion. How can you expand if you're in poverty? If you have a poverty conscience? That's why I like what Napoleon Hill says when he starts his lectures. He says, oh, divine providence, I don't ask for more riches, but more wisdom with which to use the riches I was born with, and the power to control my own mind to whatever ends I desire. Now the energy has no past, no present, no future. It's always here. And you can literally build pictures with the energy in your mind. Build pictures of what? Of whatever you want. And through auto-suggestion, repeatedly, I'm so happy and grateful now that I got the Mustang. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have no debt. I'm so happy and grateful now that I pay myself. I wake up when I want. I work when I want. People are attracted to my business. And guess what? Their energy is intelligent, and they're directed towards you the moment that you start using the creative faculty in your mind, the right part of your brain, that right creative state. The one that they told you, put the crayons away, put your feet on the ground, go to school. You're not getting A's and B's. You're a bad kid. You're never going to be good in math or reading or writing. You're a failure. As soon as you graduate, you're going to go out there and hit the streets and you're never going to become anything. And then your friends tell you, man, you're dumb. Yeah, you're right. Everyone around you is telling you you're dumb. But guess what? There is genius locked up inside of you. That's why the guy that created the incandescent light bulb, yes, Thomas Edison, he literally was kicked out of elementary because the teacher told his mom he was too dumb. And guess what? His mom put a seed in his subconscious and told him that he was too smart to go to school with the other kids. He was too smart. So what did he do? He grew up and he illuminated the world because his mom programmed him as a child. You get this better when you're young. That's why when you have kids, you never tell them, you know, your dad's broke or I'm broke or we're broke. You never mention broke. Broke should not be in your vocabulary. Like, I'm the one that coined the phrase. It wasn't Bob. It was me. I'm the one that coins the phrase of I can't doesn't exist. It's only I can. I'm the one that coined the phrase because Bob is great. But I'm the one coining the phrases right now. Like, I'm the one out here doing the work. Personal growth and development. He's 87 years old. He still has it. He was at the convention last week. He still has it. But I'm the one that said that the same thing is the main thing. The main thing is the same thing. What's the main thing? Your definite major purpose. That is the main thing in your life. What is the main thing? Do you have the main thing written out? Do you have it? Do you have it written out? How much you wanted to make? How much you want to make? I said I wanted to make $1.75 million by January 1st, 2017. I started the loan modification clinic, helping people save their homes from foreclosure, and I made millions of dollars doing it. Does that make me happy? No. Why do you think I left the business? I left the business because I wanted to know more about this information. Have I upped my income? Yes, I've upped my income. Do I ask myself how is it going to happen? No, I don't. I just go for the goal. It's like jumping out of a plane. Why? Because I know that in the grand scheme of things, I've arrived. It's like going through that tunnel. You're going to go through darkness before you hit to the light. You're going to go through some shit, right? Before you get to the next level. You're going to get beaten down, shaken, broken. It's like I told the guy yesterday. I'm like, look, my job as your mentor is to break you. Because I need you to let me in your mind. And I'm going to give you new ideas about wealth. I'm going to break you and then I'm going to make you. I'm going to mold and make, like James Allen says in the book, As a Man Thinketh. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind. And evermore he takes the tools of thought, shaping what he wills, brings 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. It's up to you. Joy or ill. He thinks in secret it comes to pass. His environment is but his looking glass. Environment is more important than heredity. You have 4th, 5th generation welfare recipients that depend on the government for a check. Why? Because they've seen nothing but poverty. They've witnessed nothing but poverty. They would never understand how it would feel to wake up when you want and travel the world, making millions of dollars in a down economy. How does it happen? I don't know how. If I sat here, like I said, and told you how photosynthesis works, I wouldn't be able to explain it. Maybe we might have to bring a scientist in, but I'm not a scientist. And most of the people on this call are not a scientist. But what we can tell you is this. Bob Proctor quoted Wernher von Braun, and he says that when John Kennedy wanted to send a spaceship and put people on the moon, he asked the scientist Wernher von Braun, the German scientist. You may want to Google him, Wernher von Braun. Wernher von Braun stated him with 5 words, John Kennedy: the will to do it. The will to do it. That's how we're going to send people to the moon. What's your will? How far are you willing to go to learn this information? I've been studying this information for 10 years. The greatest mind in psychology, as far back as the 1700s, from Frank Mesmer to William James. Because they say William James the father of psychology, but it was actually Frank Mesmer, which was actually the word mesmerism came from Frank Mesmer, but he died. No one really knew who he was, but he actually had an ability to heal people through a strategy that he created called animal magnetism. But the Indians, the people from India, they've been doing it as well. They've been doing it as well through the chakras. So it's that dimension, it's that subconscious that you want to plug in the ideas. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me. I'm so happy and grateful now that an abundance is coming to me. I feel great. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy. That's why Bob Proctor tells you to get that book, Stella Adler, The Art of Acting. Because you want to become the leading role in your movie. You want to see how your movie is. We have a question here from Chris, from I think it's Chris Cross asking me a question. The property business, help people to avoid foreclosure, was a goal of yours. However, did it not make yourself happy in the end? Look, I was happy because I've helped a lot of people. I helped people with, diabetes. I helped people that had cancer. I helped people that lost their jobs. I helped them lower the interest rate on their homes, lower the balances on their homes, and restructure the mortgage. But I got a phone call from Proctor Gallagher, from Bob Proctor's office, and my friend Arash, he asked me, he's like, if you had all the money in the world, would you still be doing what you're doing? And I said no. And that's when I knew I had to let go of the business, because it's really about helping people. So think of it like this. Are you helping any people? And that's what I asked the 22-year-old yesterday. I'm 37. Now, in my 20s, I had a lot of fun. I was going out, but I was searching for opportunity. Okay? And that's actually my next book. You're the Opportunity. That's the title of my next book. You're the Opportunity. You're the opportunity. So my why is my son, my family. My why is because they say that you have a piece of your father and your mother in you, genetically and environmentally. So genetically, our people are very proud people. Okay, so where am I from? I was born in Texas. My last name's Garcia. I'm actually in Spain. Spain is the number one last name is Garcia. So I fit well out here. My parents are from Mexican descent, but our ancestors were originally from Spain, from these towns over here. So it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter if you went to school. It doesn't matter if you didn't or did go to school. What matters is the energy. And the energy just is. It doesn't know positive or negative. You've been confused up to this point. You've been living in a state of confusion, according to Ernest Holmes. You may want to Google him, Ernest Holmes. And he says humanity is going to wake up one day and they're going to start attracting all the things that they wanted. So my why is my family and working hard with the mind. Because when I found out that working hard, like with a hammer, like my dad worked construction, he's out there working with a hammer, that's not where the fun, where the excitement is. Where the fun and excitement is, you. And what really changed me is when I went through a DUI and I put someone in a coma for a week, and I almost died. Luckily, I had my seatbelt on, and my car was totaled. And the reason the guy was in a coma was because he was on his way to work at 4 in the morning, and I almost killed him driving my car into his car, and he didn't have a seatbelt, so he ended up in a coma. And then I went to a boot camp program for 4 months. I didn't go to jail, even though they had to process me through jail. Then I bonded out. Then I went to the boot camp and I pleaded guilty for driving drunk. Now, was it my fault? Yes. Now, in the United States, they have a law called the Dram Shop Act. That guy's family got $200,000 because I testified under oath that the nightclub served me at the wrong time. I didn't even buy the bottle. They actually dumped it on me. They said, "You ordered a bottle." I said, "What? Ordered a bottle? Yeah, the bill's $700. I don't have $700. I only have like 300. Well, guess what? We're gonna have to swipe your card. I ended up going negative. By that time, I was sad. I just started drinking. I was with a friend, a nightclub promoter, that basically dumped a bottle on me. That said, "Hey, you got to pay for this bottle because I'm the promoter here. You're gonna make me look bad." I didn't know he was making money off me from the commissions of me buying that bottle, of me purchasing that bottle. So it's like my dad used to tell me. He's like, "Tell me who your 5 friends are, and I'll tell you where you're gonna be." You know, and he was really worried that I would end up dead in the hospital or in jail. So we don't get what we want, we get what we fear. So as I'm going through this situation, all I was thinking was prison. That's all I was thinking about was, oh my God, I'm gonna end up in prison. This is a scary thing. So I would recommend you that you do not watch movies of people in prison, because I remember just watching movies of people in prison, and your thoughts start to think as a prison, as someone in prison. But the real prison is the one that you set up in your own mind, because, like Napoleon Hill said, failure to take possession of your mind. Because if you took possession of your mind, you could literally free yourself from the prison because you have the keys. It's like Socrates way back when, maybe 2,000 years ago. He had a story about the prisoners in the underground den. And he talked about a situation, like an allegory of a situation of what would happen if that person was to be released in the wild, because all he knew was darkness. He never even seen his own image. So when one of those prisoners in the underground den gets out of the prison and he goes to a river and he sees a reflection of his face, he goes back inside of the mountain in the prison, in the underground den, where all the other prisoners are, because they've been locked up at birth. This is what Socrates was teaching back in the days. These teachings go back a long time. So the prisoner tells everyone else, he's like, "Hey, I just seen a reflection of myself, and I've seen people by the ocean in ships." Now everyone else is in a state of confusion. Do you think they would know what a mirror would look like, or boats or people out there in the ocean? Would they go out there? Would they take a glimpse? So that's how we are. We connect to other people, but we connect to what they're doing, and what we do is what they're doing. So all we do is we're like the sheep. We go follow the other sheep. We just follow. We're not like leaders. So you have to really start to think, okay, well, how can I take this energy and create beautiful pictures? So what you have to do is, like I told this guy yesterday, you have to take a pen and write down that you want this car next year, by June 2021. That's when you're going to have the car. And things start happening for you to attract that. The income, the money, the situations start lining up for you to receive that. Now, for me, I know that this information is true and valid because I found a book where I wrote down 1.75 million by January 1st, 2017. And then I go through all the bank statements and it lines up to 1.75. It was actually a little bit more. It was actually a little bit more. We have another person asking in the chat another question. So we know that you need to surround yourself with people that you want to be like. So how do you recognize the people that are just pretending to be someone and the ones that are really are those people you need to be around? As there is definitely many people that are not the best influence, even they might seem like that. Well, look, you know, people show off, right? People are going to show you, hey, look where I'm at, look what I'm doing, right? Look at my car, look at my house, look at this, look at that, you know. And, you know, yes, we look at, we see, what we see is dictating our thoughts, right? But what matters is you. That does not matter. You should not pay any attention to what someone else has because it's like division. You're actually taking what they have and you're dividing it by what you have, and then you're coming up with a total. I mean, this stuff is like math. It's mathematical. And that's what Werner von Braun told John Kennedy. He says you can send a man to the moon and you could time the landing by a precision of a fraction of a second. So the laws are precise. That's why I attracted the 1.75 by January 1st, because that's what I written out. So the first picture is the one you have in your mind. Because you're looking to become, you need to express the picture on canvas with a pen. That's why they say the pen is mightier than the sword. Because this pen, not this one, but whatever pen you have in your hand, right? I'm not going to give you my pen for you to write it, by the way. And that's what I told this guy yesterday. I was like, should I give him the pen? I'm like, no, I can't give him my Parker pen. I paid like $20 for this. It'd be a damn shame if he doesn't write it and then I don't see him again, right? Which could happen because a lot of people give up. Now, this guy's not going to give up, and I should give him my pen, but it's not the pen that's going to make you. It's not my pen that's going to make you. It's not. It's your belief system. That's why I said, that's why William James, the professor from Harvard in the 1900s, this isn't new here. Everything that's ever been or ever was or ever will be is already here. This is not new. So he said it. Your belief in your believe in your belief, and your belief will literally create the fact. How can you have that belief if you've never made a million or never made this or never made that? But it's okay. But you have to let go of the logical side of how. You don't worry about how. You only pay attention to the image and you hold it with your will. What are the higher faculties? I could, the lower faculties is I could see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. That's easy. I know what pizza tastes like. I know what having a soft drink tastes like. Coca-Cola, Sprite, Mountain Dew. As I say it, you already tasted. Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, right? Mountain. Remember when you were a kid and they had little pictures? That's what this is like. Mountain, ocean, Maserati, Toyota, white Toyota Camry, Bugatti. You might not have seen Bugatti. Rolls Royce, private jet, a picture of Bob Proctor. So you think in pictures, and those pictures are running all over the place in your mind. You're having all kinds of pictures. You're like a computer. You're thinking all kinds of stuff. Focus on that one thing. Give your energy. That's what Emerson says. Ralph Waldo Emerson. He says that the only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. That's the only thing that can grow. Now you can grow this, you can grow that, you can grow this, you can grow that, right? But if you focus all your energy on that one thing, you can make that You can do it. That's how it works. Because the energy is coming through you. It's coming from the top down. It's coming all around you. There was a photographer back in the 30s that perfected a form of photography, Samian Curling. And when you would take a picture, you could see the mass leaving the body. It's called Curlian photography. Back in the 30s, Samian Curling, a Russian photographer, perfected a form of photography. You know how many times I've listened to that from Bob Proctor himself? You know, I'm sitting there for hours listening to Bob, going to the paradigm shift, going to the Matrix event, paying over $50,000 for personal growth and development. When I talked to this guy yesterday, because he was here, I'm here in Spain, and he's like, I'm just so happy that I have you to guide me. That's what brings me happiness, is helping someone. Because out there's someone that wants to be just like you. They want to be just like you. They want to have what you have. And how could you die without getting this information out? And that's what Bob Proctor did, and that's what I did. Bob Proctor told me, he said, all I did was in 1965. I was in Glenview, Illinois, and I had a pen. I was with Earl Nightingale in Glenview, Illinois. And he says, I'm going to start a company that operates all around the world with a pen. And he dedicated his life for his major definite purpose. You could have minor ones, but the major one, like major, Ross Garcia is a New York Times bestseller. Ross Garcia is impacting millions of people's lives. The money is the result. So I'm happy, healthy, wealthy. That's what we work on. HHW. You want to think of $1 million? Write it on your palm. $1 million. I'll write it out for you right now. $1 million. Okay? It has 6 zeros and a 1. Okay? 6 zeros and a 1. And just look at it. Internalize it. I'm so happy and grateful now that I make $1 million. 0.00. Write yourself a check. Internalize the money. If you never made it, don't question how it's going to happen. Like I said, we're not scientists. Isaac Newton was like a scientist. He's the father of calculus. And he actually discovered gravity because he was messing around with calculus. He was trying to figure it out himself. Andrew Carnegie says there's a hidden law of nature that not even the wisest of men can understand. So who are like the wisest of men? Leonardo da Vinci, Isaac Newton, mathematicians, Wernher von Braun. I mean, you think that they're going to just send some people on the moon just like in a snap of a finger? Hey, let's just put someone on Mars real quick. Elon Musk. No, they're going to need microchips and processors and algorithms. They're going to need to communicate through what? Through the ether. That's how you get communication. And it was Thomas Edison that actually discovered the frequency through the radio, through one of his failures. He was going through all these failures to create the incandescent light bulb. He figured it out because you have a hunch. That's something trying to communicate with you. So you get these hunches. Well, Thomas Edison had a hunch, and it came to him, and he figured out how to house the energy. That's why when you drop a bulb, it pops. He figured out that method through the method of combustion. That's why when you drop the bulb, it pops, because the oxygen is in the bulb. He got that because he used to take cat naps, like with the pillow. He would take cat naps during the day, and the thought came to him, created through the method of combustion. And he woke up and he's like, there you go, method of combustion. And some of those failures, when he was backtracking, taking a few steps back, he's like, what the hell? I just figured out what a radio was. Communication from one part of the world to another. Well, guess what? You're like a radio, because when you think thoughts, it sends out a signal. That's when Napoleon Hill says that your thought is like a a laser beam. It's so powerful. It can slice through concrete, through metal, your thought, because your thought is like a frequency, and that frequency, it permeates all time and all space. When you think thoughts of abundance, they go out there through space, through the cosmos, through the void, through the ethers. And what is ether? Well, ether is like taking a solid object and burning it and making a cloud, right? That's how you make cloud. You burn the water, make a cloud. But then you burn the cloud and it goes into the space. And that space is intelligent. That's what Wallace Waddles is saying here. And the space allows us to communicate through a frequency, which is the internet, which is you can see me on Zoom. So that's how you're able to see me, guys. So I'm going to. So I want to give a shout out to my friend Ryan Lopez. Smash that like button wherever you are. Actually, Ryan, we're also on Zoom. So you want to join Wealth Mindset Group on YouTube. Wealth Mindset Group on YouTube. So, this is another channel. We actually have two different feeds right now. So going back to this lecture, going back to these practices, name it and claim it. If you've never done it, don't question the process. Start from the end. Okay, make a big number look small. Act as if the person you wish to become. Play the leading role, like Marlon Brando in the movie Godfather. Don't play the side. Don't be on the sidelines. Go for the big goal. So before we end, we have someone that asks a question. So after you get your goal, the one that you write down, where do you go from there? What should be your next step? Everyone has a different process. Everyone has a different journey. For me, it's like the burning desire. You have to have a burning desire. So there's three things that get your attention as a human being. Three. And those three things are sex, love, and financial gain. That's the motivating factor. Sex, love, and financial gain. So what do you want? You want to find someone, you want to have fun and go out and party? Then go ahead. Have a couple one-night stands if you want. But do you want to find the love of your life? Then go ahead. Go find the love of your life. Do you want to get rich? Do you want to know how it feels like? It feels great. Look, I woke up 30 minutes ago. No, it was I woke up a while ago, but I drank coffee, and actually I was still in bed just on the laptop, transferring some money around. Some Ethereum. If you guys don't know what Ethereum is, Google it. Because it's literally going to replace all the fiat currencies. That's why I have another channel where Ryan is actually on our other channel, Crypto Lifestyle Club. Because we're actually starting an educational platform to help people make money in a down economy. And, your network is your net worth. You have to have multiple sources of income. You have to be trading crypto. You have to be trading Forex. So I'm just simplifying that for you. And I'm telling you what projects I'm involved in. I'm not trading all day. I'm working on websites, and I'm still handling stuff with Bob Proctor's office, working with people. I have the Crypto Lifestyle Club, Wealth Mindset Group, the Loan Modification Clinic. I let go of all real estate. I have no real estate. I'm only into crypto now, full locked and loaded, as they say. Mentoring people, building the business out here in Spain. We have people from out here in Spain that are joining the IM organization, and things are going great. Like I said, it's whatever you think about. So when you think of things, don't think of them in a negative way, and start off little by little. Work your way up. Don't just go for all kinds of things. Focus. Use that concentration, the higher faculty. the imagination, the concentration, which is called the will, your will, imagination, will, reasoning, intuition, memory, and perception. Like, I'm 37, but I have a lot of, I guess you could say I've done a lot for 37, because I haven't been wasting time. Since I was young, I was doing mortgages, I worked for banks. Like I said, I did everything they told me to do. But then when I found out that I had that imagination, I'm like, excuse my language, I'm like, shit. So you're telling me that I could build pictures in my mind like when I was a little kid? I mean, I used to think I was Superman. You know, smack your head on the wall, right? Like, I thought I was freaking Wolverine and Cyclops, like X-Men, superhero, right? But then they told me, like, dude, you snap out of it. You're an adult now. Like, stop playing around, right? Go to high school, you have fun, you do all that stuff, experiences. You go through a lot. You learn from breaking your head, smacking your face on the wall, going through bullshit, right? You learn all the shit that you need to learn. Then eventually, you're like, okay, I gotta listen to someone that is intelligent, someone that knows what the frick they're doing, right? So I listened to Napoleon Hill because when I was broke living in my mom's house, I saw him and something attract. That's what I told this guy yesterday. He just joined. He just joined the business. He's building out here in Spain, okay? And he's gonna start trading. He wants to buy that car. I said, look, I have a practical solution. Trading. We're trading crypto. You can build the organization. He already called his friend, one of his other friends. I did the presentation for him. I have all the slides on my phone. It's not difficult, right? People come to you. Sometimes you have to look for people. Sometimes people will come to you. But what I'm telling you guys is, I wanted to learn from someone that was top notch, right? And you could say whatever you want, but Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, has literally made more millionaires than any other book. And Napoleon Hill has literally mentored people even after death. And he did that for me. So when I found out that I just had these creative faculties, I just wanted to know more. Why do you think the calls are so important? You know, like right now we have what? We got 17 people on the call. Okay? I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Hopefully it works. There you go. So I'm going to take a screenshot and put it in our WhatsApp group, because like we literally have people in our WhatsApp group. So I'm going to show that to people in the WhatsApp group. And like I said, I was broke. Like, you think I'm here just freaking wasting your time? Like, no, this is not a waste of time. This is the real deal. Like, I went to a grocery store. I spent $350 on groceries. Now, to a multi-millionaire, that's not a lot of money. And to me, it's not a lot of money. But go there. Spend the money. Don't hold back and come from, oh, well, if I spend it, I'm going to lose. Don't think of it as losing something. Think of it as letting go of something of a lower nature to bring something of a higher nature. That's why they say nature abhors a vacuum. Let go of the old clothes that you have in your closet. Create a space for the good that you desire, like Bob Proctor says. If the couch is old, get rid of it. If the TV is old, get rid of it. If the car is old, get rid of it. If the way that you think is old, get rid of it. And replace it like Ralph Waldo Emerson says. To build a new model, you have to create a new model that makes the old model obsolete. So you literally have to build a new model to replace the old one. There's two sides of creation. One is synthetic and the other one is creative. Synthetic is something that you're building upon which already exists, and creative is from scratch, like the Wright brothers when they created the airplane. Now, maybe Leonardo da Vinci had an idea about an airplane and, you know, putting people off the ground, but they couldn't see it. They couldn't visualize it. The visualization factor just wasn't there at the time. And there comes times where there is a time in our planet, where this stuff is actually becoming real. Like flying drones in the sky, which they're actually creating them for the average person. So you want to get to downtown? Let's just say I was in Chicago or New York. I want to get to downtown. Okay, well, let me just jump in my drone. Where's my drone? Oh, it's in the garage. But the garage door doesn't open like this. The garage door opens from the top. So I jump in my drone, I turn it on, I hit the start button like the BMW. Just hit the button. You know, the propellers or the fans, they start turning on. And then pretty soon I'm in the sky. And now that drone is going straight to the destination. It's going to that coordinate, and you have a coordinate mechanism in you. It's called a program. And that program is going to fight you. It will literally fight you. It's called the foreign vibration, an FV. That's what we call it. That's what me and Bob Proctor call it, FV, a foreign vibration. And that foreign vibration is going to fight you to the very end. And by the time you make it to the end, like crossing that bridge, you're never going to have fear. Why do you think I jumped on a plane and came to the UK? No fear. You know, no fear. I just jumped on the plane and I ended up in the UK. I got an apartment just like that. Turns out one of my friends in Chicago was a real estate agent and he gave me the keys to the apartment. No credit check, no Britain ID required. No passport, nothing. Just, hey, Ross, here are the keys. My friend Ozzy from Chicago. Then I ended up coming to Spain. I was at the airport. The guy at the airport's like, we're not accepting Americans in Spain. That you can't get there. Immigration's not going to let you in. You're stuck. You're stuck here in the UK because of a coronavirus. They're not accepting Americans. I said, okay. If I can't get there through the air, I'm gonna get there through the ground. So I rented a car in the UK, and I went through the English Channel, to France, and then from France I drove to Spain. No borders. I just drove straight through, and I still have that UK car out here right now. They're charging me 180 pounds a week, but guess what? I'm not worried because I know where the money's at. And if I were to tell you how deep this stuff gets, you'd be like, man, this is some crazy stuff. Like, crazy is saying that the money is in the space between me and you. The money is energy. And it's literally changed my whole life. So I can't go back to, hey, what time do I have to be at work? Hey, but can I call off on Friday? Because I need a day off. I can't go back. I'm sorry, guys. That's not me, because I've been there. So I'd rather be on this side, because I could create a quantum leap and go from 1.75 to 50 million real quick. 1.75, 75 million, 1.5 billion real quick. Because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between 1.75 million and 1.5 billion. It doesn't know the difference between big or small. It accepts what you are impressing upon it. What are you impressing upon the subconscious mind? And what limiting belief system and paradigms, programs in your subconscious do you have that are not letting you make that breakthrough? It's called the terror barrier. I've learned that from Bob Proctor. So go through that terror barrier. Bust right through that wall. Bust right through. Bust right through. And if you don't bust right through, get back up, clean yourself, and just keep going through that terror barrier. And I'm telling you, when you get on this side, and you're happy, healthy, wealthy, drinking your cup of coffee, looking at the palm trees, it doesn't matter. This is what makes me happy. Maybe making you happy might be in some freaking mountain on Switzerland. I don't know. We all have different goals and dreams and fulfillments and stuff that we want, desires. So I hope this information was useful to you. I hope you were taking notes. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on the call. I'm going to let everyone go at the Crypto Lifestyle Club on YouTube. For all my YouTube subscribers, go to Wealth Mindset Group. You guys need to join the business. Go to the Wealth Mindset Group YouTube channel, because all the videos that we do on Zoom are there as well. So I'll let everyone go at the Crypto Lifestyle Club.